My research has led me to believe this, that the female sisterhood on Atlantis, right? These are the descendants of the warlocks, their wives, their sisters, their queens, initiated an all-out global destruction or annihilation of all the living men that existed at that time. And that, now we're not talking about the population that we see today in the world. The whole planet at that time, you know, maybe only had a few 100,000 inhabitants. We're not talking about what we see today. But nevertheless, an act of genocide, in my reading of of these myths, I believe that the sisterhood were either stood by and let this happen, but I'm even thinking that they themselves initiated it. And the reason is because they didn't need the men anymore. With this alien technology and the alien skill, and we're talking about the power to even create hybrid beings. We're talking about the Neanderthals, and we're talking about beings who are genetically hybrid. And of course, let's not forget the most important anecdote about the Book of Enoch from that passage, which is that children were born from these liaisons. So in other words, the women didn't need the man anymore. They were marrying and mating with the Anki, the serpents from heaven. They were bearing children, and by either mating or by genetics, and therefore they had these solar children. They had the children of the Nephilim, the ones who hold the Ankh, meaning from heaven and earth tied together. Joe Blow out there, the men that they had known all these years through the pre-visitation times, were an obscenity to this particular group of women. They didn't need them anymore. And so I believe that for one reason or another, they were annihilated. Almost all of the male population of the world, in a genocide so furious, so horrible, and so merciless, that it had to be erased from the collective psyche. We spoke earlier about the fact that the presence of the sisterhood has been repressed to such a degree it barely exists. That is nothing compared to the memory of the genocide, of the slaughter of the female criminal history we're talking about. And with a push of the button, something happened where plague, or I don't know what, the entire male population of the planet was annihilated, almost to a man, except for probably a few, you know, troglodyte-type servant groups. Well, you see, it's a game of deception. Many people have said, while we are facing the fortress of the male Illuminati, beating on the door, going, "Let me in! I'm going to strangle you." And here's Alex Jones is ready to do it. While we're bullhorning them. Well, we are literally facing the battlements up on the hill, out of sight, on horseback, is the real enemy. They're right exposed. They're right there. They're right behind you. They're up there on the hill. You see that shining glass? But they want you over here because there's a game, an incredible crime that's been committed, so intricate, so web-like, so absolute. Thousands have gone into the ditch, charging to be slaughtered, mowed down like something you've seen in frickin' Tolkien's Lord of the Rings here. And all the time up there on the hillside is the real few. The top of the pyramid is detached, isn't it? The 14th level. The only hope for anyone to twig what has really been going on right across the board, and this includes what's happening now, are the people who happen to be seriously, and I don't mean just frivolously, interested in conspiracy kind of content. That small group, and then even a smaller group within that who are serious, because there's a lot of hangers-on and imbeciles who don't know shit, but there's people within that are the only true, intelligent, informed. And I said this at the talk in Australia, and we have two reasons for that. One is we're in an age where we have information that has never, ever become as widely public as it is before. So in other words, we have the researchers of unbelievable skill and awareness who are bringing out facts that the whole human race, from the dawn of history, has never been privy to. That's one. And the second is we have the means of dissemination, the internet. We have the technological medium, which was, again, new. It's modern, you see. So there's two factors that you can obviously see, logically, we didn't have before. One is the kind of information that our forefathers just didn't have access to. Not that many of them didn't speculate it or think about it or muse it, but now we have it more hardcore. about all sorts of things. And we also have this unique means of dissemination where somebody like myself, or let me take myself as an example, 30, 40 years of constant, non-stop, back-breaking research can be delivered in a few minutes in a book or DVD or a YouTube. Do you know, I mean, people don't think about it, but I didn't put that stuff together in 5 minutes. This has been an incredible job, and think about all the other teachers in this movement as well. So suddenly you have all the world from every corner of the globe, of all levels of intelligence, being able to benefit from a person who has gone through unbelievable sacrifice and unbelievable study in relatively short period of time because of the medium in which it is transmitted, you see, low cost, easy access, and so on. These are remarkable changes, remarkable features, and therefore my point is that we then must absolutely be glad for that. We must use it. We must get rid of all the distraction and really make sure that we understand and be very grateful for this fact, because we are now privy, finally, up Periscope. We are able, the clouds are parting, and we have the tools to see what almost none of our ancestors ever saw before. Ordinary person has the ability now to get a glimpse. What they do with it is of no concern to Michael Tsarion. That's now, I don't intrude there. But I'm just saying the simple fact is we have that ability. What you do with it, what you don't do with it, how you think about it, how you configure it, what you think about the person who's delivering it, that's all your own business. But the fact is, the simple fact is, this information is now being disseminated. We're in the absolute proper age for it to come forth. That is non-negotiable. And that to me is inspiring and brilliant and gives us a very good optimistic, should make people feel very optimistic. But again, we have a huge mass of people also who are in a state of absolute perpetual ignorance, and therefore, yes, okay, the female got a little bit more masculine power to operate in the world of the beast. Yeah, okay, great, whatever. Man gets a little bit more of this. Life, you get improvements, you know what I mean? You get upgrades to your servitude. Yeah, I'm not really jumping backwards on that. I think it's okay, maybe it's fine. But in the whole or larger context, if the psychology of man thinks that he's going to make progress without looking back to his criminal history and to his own shadow and know what has been going on behind the scenes, I cannot for a moment call that true progress. He's liable to, again, fall into another trap.